The Court of Poetic Justice will now hear the case of Jacob Davies versus the Ministry of Arts Consumption.
Mr. Davies, you have been brought before this court on one count of poetic mediocrity and one count of crimes against the poetic consumption in the first degree, punishable by death. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Very well, then the Royal Court of the Poetic Justice is now in session. I'm going to ask you a series of questions and you will answer them to the complete truth under the penalty of death. Do you understand? Excellent.
If I could go back, it's quite curious to think the times that I'd choose to relive. I'd go to an unfriendly February, an overcast Tuesday, so frosty, so dreary, and so very grey, where adolescent dreams tickle the mundane, and young bones groan for the sunlight to hide away. If I could go back, I'd eagerly awaken on that nagging weekday, one that once seemed like a chore, and I'd breathe every moment of what living was like before they had all gone away, and gone would be where they'd stay. I'd venture out into a stirring, shaking Pontefract town, with licorice fields and £3 meal deals fueling a sweet and sour merry-go-round. If I could go back, I'd sit amongst friends, and I'd see the present in a way only the past can be seen. They would be dystopian days again, of course, but with hindsight, a new value I would see. If I could go back, I'd take in all that nonsense about Goffman, Marx and Murray, and I'd be far less deliberate, much less eager for time to fly by in a hurry. I'd laugh with those I cared for again, as the afternoon made itself comfy. And I'd be free, one with secure rein. I'd savour the air each instant of the moments in time before we became so distant. And if I could go back, I'm not sure if I'd go and visit her, but I'd maybe send a fax or short text via carrier pigeon without weight nor religion, just to say hello one final time, just to reconnect. While she lived on the same hopeless earth as I, in the days before she knew she was so soon to say goodbye. And if I could go to where no one can, of course I'd again see you, waiting for me with that tentative nature, slim shadow and jeans duotone blue. If I could go back to stroll there again, involuntarily I'd smile, as my eyes met yours for the first time in a short while. And I'd tell an awkward joke about Ginsberg or Coleridge, Keats or something equally as absurd, and you'd laugh anyway as if it were the finest, most brilliant thing you'd ever heard. And I'd recite a quote or poem, badly of course, and you'd applaud me and laud me just because. You were you and I was me. You'd look at me wide-eyed like the genius that I never was. If I could go back, I'd seize the day no danger. In the days before you knew you were to become a stranger.
What is your name?
Jacob Paul Davies,
How old are you?
22 years old.
How tall are you?
Miserable 5'10".
Okay. Why do you call yourself a poet?
Because I write and perform poetry. From the rooftop beer garden with the broken vent to your safe and warm Yorkshire bed. Via the wake in the snug bar, life is always in two halves, so follow your heart as far as Boston Spa and you'll see musings of Blake and young Morrisseys, terraced houses filled with sardonic slurs, coronation streets and back bedroom casualties, words filled with angst, piss and vinegar. I know you are far from untouchable, and for a start, I'm sick to death of red and blue politicians, and you can shove your British beef up your arse. But I see past the mirrors and smoke, I see the glorious parts that make you whole, and when I sing with your air, I know I am home. In cities and countrysides, both yours and mine, the Royal Exchange, rented rooms in Whalley Range are familiar and friendly in their own charming ways. Accents in Leicester, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Lucy in the Sky and Julie in the Weeds, actors and singers in figures of eights, last-minute winners and indie bars on Brigates. Sundays sheltered by fireside from an undetermined sleet. The golden trickle of streetlights onto our English streets. Cathedrals and history, real heritage, real tradition, powerful men, powerful women, acoustic admissions. Foot to cobbled pavement and up shoots, a strength in my stride and a pride in these English roots. And though generations have failed you, in slander and in shame, my heart treasures my own definition of your name. There is no doubt you have done wrong, but the future is pure and we will be fine. England, I love you. I am yours, and you are mine. And you can shove your British beef up your ass.
Do you hate your country, Mr. Davies?
No, I love my country, but I find increasingly more and more things to hate about it.
You do, okay. What do you have against British beef?
I think the meat industry is just so unbelievably cruel. There's no compassion to it, and yet it's
Okay.
so...
Be quiet. Are you a vegetarian, Mr. Davies?
I haven't eaten meat since I was 11.
11 years old. Okay. And what are your opinions on British pork?
Well, not much different again. So cruel and yet so commonplace, and it makes me very angry.
Okay, good for you.
This is called The Afters. It's 5 a.m. on a city centre street-side bench, and I'm swirled in thoughtful discourse with your secondary school best friend. This is The Afters, only me and her in this disaster of a reality. Beyond the sunrise lies lonely nights, slipping brickwork and peeling plaster. And I tell her that my world is a pretty little place, filled with full-faced grazers and discarded faces. I tell her my world is overdue another collapse, with all gut and no grace. This is The Afters. There are no gods here, no safety sanctum lovers, no masters. Only speculations and daydreams that never give very conclusive answers. And once again, time becomes a sphere, as what was far again is near. Life is only lost, these days are not real, and so, alone we sit here, together. It's The Afters. Empty streets and silent hysterical laughter. We feel time pass through us, and tears flow easier. They flow faster. And there is no one from my past in this last 12 hours I have not seen. Each one has picked me off and devoured me, warmly, smugly, lovelessly, and it's all been a dream turned nightmare turned dream. And while the ink on my life dries, we sit here together with confession-bearing eyes, brimmed to overflow with alcohol, with thoughts that often come, but never go. It's 6 a.m. on the floor beside a city centre bench. I'm sat aside in deep conversation with your oldest friend. It's less about who she is and more what she represents.
I have a list of your poetry here, and I'm looking at something called the afters. What is an afters? Can you just detail that for the court, please?
The afters is the time after an event or an occasion where often people's real intentions and thoughts are revealed.
Okay. Do you have a less pretentious answer for me there, please?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Okay. Do you believe that you have no masters in the afters, as you've written here in your poem?
Well, it's definitely a godless space. It's the closest thing to human anarchy that we have.
I just want to pull you up on line 14 here. You have written the word gods with a capital G. Now, we have many dictionaries here, and surely God with a capital is a proper noun rather than just a normal noun. So, as in like referring to the one true God. Do you believe in multiple one true gods, or was that perhaps an error?
Well, that was an error. That poem is as yet unpublished, so maybe speak to my editor in a year or two's time.
What gods do you believe in, Jacob?
They skip and hop. They skip and hop. They grunt and grunt like that.
Engaged at 19, don't you find it all so embarrassing? Your life beckoned and you let it go. It was once yours for the taking, don't you know? Engaged at 19, won't you let yourself be happy? Why not try, give it a go? It isn't easy, I should know. I have been chucked around since the day I turned 16. But you're engaged at 19, in the Travel Lodge Hotel bar. Be honest with yourself. Did you mean for the self-harm to come quite this far? Take my advice and save your own life, and make some time to write these wrongs onto paper or into song. Before it's gone, save your own life, and burn all the bridges you once thought ought to have been built. Engaged at 19, and that is all you are. You are solely, only a dream of chivalry. Glimpses of moonbeams and half-melted vanilla ice creams, anecdotes that never end and striped tiger jeans. Enraged at 23, with quaint, paint-tasting metaphors, half-strung paracetamol tongue, craving just 15 minutes of anonymity. A place in hell to go and rest without a fight nor family. There's such trouble inside those wide hazel eyes. Engaged at 19. I have the answer and it's so easy. Save your kids from being born and don't bother falling in love because it's all a big con. It's such a lie. It'll suck you in and call you nice things. It'll make you play shite music, forget who you are and your reasons to be human. It'll make you paint your face and inspire such senseless whims, destroy your mind and snap your heartstrings. Save your own life, just as I have saved mine. Dethrone and stone the only one you know. Save your own life and break your own heart. It's never too late to start, to run away, to tell them that you're never coming back, and to become someone who you justly love.
When did you become so miserable?
Well, I don't think I am, but many people...
When did you become so miserable, Mr. Davies? Please answer the question.
Many people have told me that I am, so there must be some truth in it. I suppose maybe I was born nostalgic.
Okay. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Some people are born with misery and other people have misery inflicted upon them.
That's enough. Do you hate all of humanity or just the happy ones?
Hate is a very strong word, but I do have a deep distrust of people who are effortlessly happy.
Are you always this edgy and self-loathing?
I find the right mix of misery, sleep and alcohol can be very soothing.
Yes. Do you have many regrets, generally?
Many.
Many regrets. Good. Would you like to elaborate?
This is the language of flowers. I don't belong where daffodils wait until William's been and gone. I don't belong. I'm on the mend, I only spend Tuesdays in the shed. What do friends look like? Carnations seem to know their faces and all the days we've wasted. I still don't belong. I sob and cry as bluebells died. Mozart was born and gone by 35. He drifted from Vienna, and then soon he forever frowned in the ground aside orchids, soil, and me. Snowdrops sang, and now I am neither land nor sea. Sunflowers take an hour, whilst marigolds hold my soul and beg me that I go. Buttercups never shut up, and daisies say far too much. Just like me, they've had enough. No tulips could pout these two lips, or poppy stop me on this decline. Lily is lost in the valley. Chrysanthemums have left me numb, so naive and so very young. Dorothy Parker knows that one perfect rose cannot for money be bought or sold. As there time froze, forget-me-nots don't remember, they do not know the wanderings of my ghost.
So I'm looking at the language of flowers here. You're going to have to walk me through it. I don't quite understand this one. What's the point?
Well, exactly. It meant something once, and now I'm as in the dark as you are.
Okay. Why don't you rhyme more, like proper rhymes, not half rhymes?
Because life doesn't rhyme, and things are more interesting than when they don't have rounded edges.
Would you like to provide a better answer for that one?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. What's your favourite flower?
I like many flowers, ones that unapologetically bloom, but I'm drawn towards roses.
Roses? That was a terrible answer. Thank you very much.
This is called Hugs at the Station. Hugs at the station, from star-crossed lover or belt-blazing mother, partner through sedation or a spellbound relation. And I watch. Smiles near the trains between husband and wife, fork and knife, couples in love strange yet to be estranged. And I ponder. On chuckles from nearby seats through the telephone. Not a chord of pretend, the voice you hear at the other end, you think. You're so sure you know personifies a safe and happy home. And I ask, what is this like? Shoes scuttle side by side on the station floor. Stations across nations, Cork, Paris, New York. I find it hard to ignore I shall never have closure for. All the lives we dreamt of having. Far off accents by the railway. Make me smile blue, they remind me of you. Soon, I remember how I stayed and off you went away. And I carry that with me. Goodbye, they tearfully beam. See you soon, they say, grinning, swimming through the dissipation of an afternoon. The depletion of their whole lives. And my heart bleeds for noon. And my heart bleeds for them. And my heart bleeds for you. My heart bleeds. My heart bleeds for you.
How's your heart, Mr. Davies? Medically?
Erratic, but certainly rhythmic.
Any parasites or infections I should know about?
No, not at the moment, but it would be nice to have some company.
Okay. If you're a large mammal were to eat your heart, would it get sick? Or would it go down pretty easy, do you think?
No, undoubtedly so. You'll be very ill.
Be ill. Right. We'll get that tested later.
They skip and hop. They skip and hop. They grunt and grunt like that because they're very fat. How tickled you would be if you could ever see the piggies poke around and round.
This is Ernie at the seaside. Ernie, A boy of just 9 years went on a trip to the beach. His grandparents on the pier holding a hand of his each. They ambled and rambled half a mile. As summer was, the light flowing smile of the waves trickling by his feet. Ernie was sad the day had to end. He wanted it to go on forever. But handing the boy a paper bag, grandfather's plan was clever. Ernie took a toffee, a sweet and another and another. And in the back of the car he turned and asked his grandmother, "Will life be this joyful forever?" The boy held curiosity as Grandma placed a hand on his cheek. As softly she said, "We are here to provide memories that you will forever keep." And as day turned to evening, the grandmother smiled. Country road yards turned to motorway miles, and Ernie drifted off to sleep. Time went by as it often tends to. Ernie became older with new focuses and new things to do. Grandmother, grandfather waited at home, far from despair, both contented and pleased with the times they had shared, as Ernie ventured on eras anew. The world's vibrant fruits began to fade to black. Health waned and fate won its attack. Ernie watched his grandmother die and his grandfather cry, desperate to have a childhood seaside day back. Ernie, half a man now, went on a trip to the beach. Echoes the only answer, such distress he'd beseech, with grief to pay a lifelong debt, as time was the salty and chilly wet death of the waves trickling by his feet. Ernie, distraught and starved of joy, trudged through the years to both search and to destroy, but soon fortune spun his way, and one sunny day, Ernie was the father of a girl and a boy. They'd gain years of their own, 27 and counting each, no matter the mistakes he'd make or the lessons he'd try to teach. And one day, sure enough, rang the phone. Ernie had grandchildren of his own. It was time for a trip to the beach. A wonderful day was enjoyed by all at the beach, Ernie's elderly arms on the pier with a grandchild in each. But on the way home, the words the infant said brought an ancient memory back to Ernie's head. With juvenile curiosity, they smiled and asked, "Grandad, will happy times always be in reach?" And as the granddaughter held curiosity, Ernie began to softly speak. He said, "I'm here to provide memories that you will forever keep." And as grief turned to joy, the grandfather smiled. Country road yards turned to motorway miles, and the children drifted off to sleep.
Who is your audience, Mr. Davies? Who reads any of this?
Mainly concerned family members and people who get lost easily in libraries.
Why do you write it?
Because of my desire to express, create and to share.
Really? Okay.
No reason.
Do you get tired of being so self-loathing?
White flowers decorate our hands today. Pleasant is the earth and gone is yesterday. The long road back seems a little nearer to home as eyes embark on a new green way. The seasons bring no correlation of reason. There is a certain warmth and joy in this air. The bitter cold of summers before, this autumn, it's no longer there. The splendid, nonchalant ways of who is known most, they dwarf any trivial biological impulse. Even in an uneven October, we are by the coast. Tragedies of goodbye could never repulse. Orange leaves on the trees as you look at me. Clasped hands break the pattern of wanted ways. I am unknown to nature's way of holding the key, embarking on the throne of dystopian days. The chemistry is frightening, returning to a place so well known, with a new outlook and view. Quickly, all these words ever written, they no longer ring true. The birds and grey squirrels align in contentment song. The brightest day has finally broken. My eyes are wide open. I hold marvellous white flowers, and nothing can go wrong.
Why don't you rhyme more?
Because life doesn't rhyme, and I find that things are more interesting when they don't have completely rounded edges.
That is categorically false. All poems are much more... What's your favourite flower, Mr. Davies?
I'm drawn to lots of flowers. I like all different flowers, but I've always had something about roses.
Do you like daisies?
Yes.
Sunflowers?
Yes.
Tulips?
Yes.
Dandelions.
This is you, Elizabeth, and so many stimulants. You go to meet Elizabeth in town, and on shady street corners you hang around, as a thorn painted as a rose and dressed as a thorn. And I've chased your kind since the day I was born. You make premeditated mistakes and exist in a world of fairy dust, of fiction and of fake. You meet men in shadows with untraceable faces and voices. Sometimes the real monsters are born from your choices. Is it because you care too much or because you don't care enough? Drunk on something or other since 2004, do you know what your life is for? My world changes every day, as does yours in a much different way. You, Elizabeth, and so many stimulants, hate the earth but cherish the plants, as you slump and slumber, intoxicated in a Yorkshire gutter, whilst I saunter around my bedroom, swinging a t-shirt infused with your perfume. This is called To Feel Drums Behind Me. I wish to drown in sounds, to be surrounded by song in every lyric, in every verse, to right every wrong, to settle all scores, to be adored, and to understand why it was I was born. I wish to roar secrets of all mysterious, in lustful creativity to shout, to clench my fists, drag up my sleeves and belt the words out. I wish to quench that feeling in my gut that doesn't ever shut up. I wish to make the complex simple, to savour the second, to love the time, to grab a flailing arm in a perfect half rhyme, to be backlit by red, gold and purple, and to share reflections of driving in circles. I wish to explain and to give a home to the nights I miss you most. I wish to see magical places and liminal spaces, and the person I will be in your company. I wish to feel drums behind me as a thunderous, unsubtle reminder that life is now. Life is now.
Do you ever get tired of hating yourself so much?
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Exhausting. Lovely.
The legs are first to go. It is then you are safe and you know refuge shall come soon. Hands heavy, hands slow. Me and Juliet wish we'd never met, and the shining light amidst all of this regret is the silence of the mind that edges my way. By 8:45 begins the race against time, pioneering occasion, quirky situation, victory is mine, I can only win. For a stupor must commence, it's set off, it's on its way, and here on God's finest day you can turn and revolt and say enough, enough, nada, nada, basta, no more of this disaster, enough, enough. Mouth dry and my dilated eyes spy the ceiling, the darkness. Good night, goodbye. I'll miss you, little guy.
What about the pigs? What do you think about the pigs, Mr. Davies?
The pigs.
The pigs.
What do you mean by
Do you think the pigs need your poetry? What do you think about the pigs?
I don't necessarily like pigs.
I think you write more poetry.
This is Dear Shauna. I am dying. My life is over. Rip me apart, call my bluff. Please just come and halt this shameful existence. Hang me, hang me. I am going to die. My life is over. My life is over.
What do pigs eat? Grass, apples.
Ginsberg bones, Coleridge bones, Keats bones. I remain as big. I remain as British beef, as meat to be eaten, as meat for pigs, meat for.
What are you doing for the pigs, Mr. Davies?
I'll leave them alone.
Do you have anything to offer the pigs?
No, I wouldn't say I would.
Are you ready to meet the pigs?
So the court has reached its final judgment, Mr. Davies, and on all counts, I find you guilty of crimes against the poetic canon. In proportion to the severity of the charges, I sentence you to death by way of pig. Have a good day.
Minigun.
Is that where the pigs are?
You may have a tender sleep, but I know what you is, mama, when you start sleeping.
For a hapless happening, I am open wide a mile, with uncertain hidden smiles, remembering then. And for a gone buddy, my heart is hurting, and the ruler of regret is asserting whatever it can. In unequivocal solitude, I am in certainty without a clue, for the many who have departed this journey. To those who've halved and doubled and halved, all of the mess, trickery and equinox worry, to the many who have departed this journey, I am sorry. To those who have shifted gears, follow me and we will not turn back. To the many who have departed this journey, I have no yearning for anger nor attack. To those who left me stranded on the doorstep, love existed for just a minute, I am sure. To the many who have departed this journey, I have no further thought of you left to endure. To those who opened the door to the last chance saloon and pointed the direction to go, to the many who have departed this journey, thank you for doing so. And what, or whatever resilience, is left clinging to my chest, I have no more spare time left to invest in licking wounds, lucid tunes, or shame. Come and share the middle sea with me, although at one time it was very nice. I have broken my neck twice, looking backwards. Once sighing on a street, crying in a state. Wherever next you or I go, clearly you still do not know what has been left behind. To the many who have departed this journey, thank you for doing so.
Folks may call you pygmy, and you may be pygmy, but you built on a old hog frame. Now you go acorn hunting, growling and a grunting, but the old hogs is rooting just the same. You go before the butcher, try to put on your stunt. He can stick a knife in you and you won't even grunt. You may be pygmy, folks may call you pygmy, but you built on an old hog frame. Hear me talking, mama, you're built on an old hog.